All right. It's Sunday here again, and our show is titled Out of the Memory Hole. And we're talking about Isaac Kappy. What happened to Isaac Kappy? And I called it Out of the Memory Hole because a lot of these events and this stuff get put in a memory hole. We forget about it. We forget about where things came from, the root of certain ideologies or conspiracy theories, or those we can just call them theories. And we're going to pull Isaac Kappy out of the memory hole today. We're going to talk about him and what happened with him. And it's important because this is one of those major events that they're still talking about. But he's one of the first people who started to talk about Epstein, the Epstein class, the Epstein files, Mossad, who was involved, and he had quite the following. Now, Isaac Kappy, of course, was an actor. First and foremost, actually, he was into singing, songwriting, and he got into acting in some minor roles. He was in movies like Thor. He did some small parts in like Breaking Bad. He was in Terminator Salvation and a couple of other movies, but he really was a musician, really. I mean, music was his biggest passion, and he's infamous now for his death and the tragic circumstances of his death. And there's a lot of people who's very suspicious of his death and what happened, and we're going to talk about that and all the suspicions. So, the first half of the show, we're going to spend looking at Isaac Kappy, his last video before the suicide, or sorry, I can't say that, the unaliving. It's not funny. We're going to look at that video. We're going to have a break, and I'm going to upload some other video of an interview on Sean Ryan with people who actually investigated his death, and a young woman who was his friend and actually spent time with him just before he died, and all the mysterious things that happened around it. So we're going to divide it up into those two sections. And it's obviously it's a really sad circumstance, a sad death, because a lot of people believe that he was giving really important information about who was involved in this kind of child trafficking, not kinda, a child trafficking ring. This is what he's alleging. A child trafficking ring, and he calls out Epstein. And interesting to note before we get into this video stuff, that Isaac Kappy died on May the 13th, 2019. And not too long after that, Epstein died. Like, what was it, July of 2019? Uh, apparently. So there's tons of theories. DA, I have never heard about this case. Okay, well, hopefully I can navigate you through it. John Aside is in the room. Yeah, Bannon comes up. A whole bunch of people that are big influencers come up, actors, Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, like crazy stuff comes up around Cappy, and it gets convoluted and confusing. So we'll go through the narrative. We'll go through what Cappy's last stuff. We're gonna look at some of the things he says, a song that he did. People have re-uploaded his content. He was originally doing it, I believe, on Periscope on Twitter before it became X. He got banned from there. Um, he was in with a lot of people that he felt like betrayed him. In his last video, we're gonna go through the clip soon. It's like he is really expressing a lot of fear and terror about being betrayed. So Isaac Kappy, he's an actor. He had this thing he called the fam, people who watched him online, and he was talking about all this child trafficking network globally that was run by these kind of Epstein Mossad people. He's one of the first people who really got it out there in the open, like, and he was very popular. It's on Telegram, X, and he was just talking to people and they were discussing this stuff and he was outing names in Hollywood. Like he kind of would probably know because he was in Hollywood. What level he knew, what was he mentally ill? I mean, we're going to bring up all those things. I mean, we can kind of go over all of that, but and we can say he was mentally ill. You could say he was schizophrenic. You could maybe drugs. People are saying all of this stuff, but there was people who investigate this and knew him that are saying showing you facts about how mysterious, messed up, crazy things are, and other people died after this that was co you know, connected with him. I believe someone was found hung in their garage or something like that, and people got really scared. And so I feel like there was truth to what he was saying, and that's why we're kinda gonna go over it, but we're gonna observe and not absorb because I think one of the things that we're gonna learn about Cappy is he was obviously afraid. It affected him emotionally. You get pulled into this, right? You get pulled into this world, and then you're an easy target. Niche kind of mentioned that at the end of our last show on Thursday, where she talked about how you have to be remain still and calm and controlled and collect. You can't react emotionally because it kind of pulls you in. Okay. So before we get into the videos and get deep into Cappy world, please remember to give the show a thumbs up, subscribe, like the stuff, leave a comment if you're coming after the stream. We're going to have a little 7-minute intermission so I can upload a second set of videos into my system. Like I said, the first set is Cappy. The second half will be this kind of investigation. You guys can go, I mean, you can find this stuff anywhere where I will put links in the chat. Here is one to Cappy's final stream that he did with the people that discuss this stuff and were outing this stuff. I just put it in the chat. There's also another one to the interview with Sean Ryan, or not Sean Ryan, Sean Atwood. He's an English podcaster who does a lot of these investigations. And there was big names. And one of the things that's more compelling was we know a lot of crazy stuff has come out since then that kind of corroborate to the Sean Atwood interview. I believe it's a two-parter. I'm just going to do some clips. We're not going to be able to get through this whole investigation. There's weird stuff, mysterious stuff uh, about the actual suicide or unaliving site, the investigation. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. Like it's the same crap over and over and over again. Jonathan said he may have been bipolar. Yeah, he may have been, but we also know that they love to drive, like, I mean, there's all sorts of theories. Bipolar, was he an asset? Was he fake death and put in witness protection? Was he an asset? Like, this could go all over the place. Pyramid 7, welcome to the show. He said, I was kind of friends with the girlfriend that he had when he died for quite a while. Jonacide was on his streams and did some commentary. Cappy, we used to call him Joni instead of Jonacide. Yeah, okay, so Tom Hanks tweeted a pic of roadkill. He actually, was it before or after he died? That picture might have been before. Because Tom Hanks, it wasn't even tweet. I think he had it on Instagram. Like Tom Hanks had all these weird pictures on Instagram about things on the side of roads. And there's all this weird stuff about gloves and strange things that are codes. And we know they use codes like pizza, was it grape soda, Like, there's all sorts of weird language that they use. But Cappy was one of the he's not the first. Obviously, there's lots of people that have investigated and said there's reptilians, blah, 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 blah. But he's kind of went really mainstream because he was in with Hollywood and he's talking about this almost like he's shocked. Like, you guys, they're all psychotic Luciferians. He's saying it doesn't matter. They're within the Catholics, they're within every religion, but they're all these infiltrated Luciferian crazy figures. Maybe you should grab a nail. Grab a nail, guys. Grab a drink. I've got my Waterloo lemon Italian ice water here. I'm gonna sip some water. I'm tired. I had an iced coffee before I started. I'm trying to revive my brain. And I'm not going to get into every detail. I'm going to miss a lot because it's such a he does. And Jonacide says he sings a song about what's going on at the time. I have one of those songs to show you guys. But we're going to start off with a clip of him first, one of his last streams. And I've got several clips from this last stream. We're going to go through them and where he makes some claims. And then we're going to go to the singing stuff and some other videos, take a break, and then we'll get into people who are investigating this and some theories. What's going on with Isaac Kappy? Because it could be that Isaac Kappy was mentally ill. And the narrative they say is true. He unalived himself. I mean, that could be true. But there's just too many strange things surrounding it. There's too many strange things, and we're going to look at those strange things because I think we owe it to not trust the mainstream media, the official narratives. They can arrange things to be hidden. Yeah, Jilly Bean Live even says it's suspicious. It's suspicious. It is. And we're going to pull it out of the memory hole and keep talking about Cappy. Because he seemed like a genuine guy, and it could be he looked bipolar because he was driven insane. Like, these entities out there in Hollywood, there's mafias, they knock people off. They could have, like Michael Jackson, all these people, the deaths. And it makes you want to go back and look at the media, when they smear people, if it's true, and if they were trying to get rid of them. And Michael Jackson's a prime example of how the media lies about you. And I was watching an interview with the lawyer who defended him, Michael Jackson, in his court cases against him, was it in 2005 or something like that? And won, like, got all 14 dropped. And he was saying how crazy the media is and how much they lie because they make money. They come from all ends. They'll make money from Michael Jackson when he's famous, but they'll make money tearing him down and selling the propaganda, then taking over his brand, and whack him out and make money off of that. They come at all angles. That's what I'm saying. So you can't trust these people because that's what evil is. It's so devious. It'll make you think that it's good. And that's where I'm getting at. So I don't trust that blonde witch and her boyfriend. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna look at some interviews because they're suspicious about it too. I don't know that she's a witch or not. All right, let's go into the first video. We got a few of you in the room. We got 12. Hopefully more of you stream up in. Remember, thumbs up because it helps push this out into the algorithm. This is in a few hours. I'm going to leave it up for the day and then I'm push it over into membership only. Next week, I'm going to do an upload for members, and we're going to have the stream on Freemasons versus Nazi. We're going to have that on Sunday, so I won't be live during the week. I'm going to be a little busy with work. But yeah, thumbs up. I'm going to leave it up for a while. So let's go into one of his last videos. Now, this is a lot. I've given you the link in the chat. Let me actually, I'm going to pin the links I gave you right to the top. I gave you the link to the full one of this. I don't wanna go through the full one, but the clips I have are fairly long, and it's just he's gonna name names, and we're gonna see what's going on. So let's talk to Kappy right now.
Guy that torpedoed Michael Whalen. Um, let's see. I think probably Random Rants of Ryan got paid off. Is gay from Open Secret? Yes, he is. Khazarian people. Very much so. Zionist Khazarian people. Khazarian mafia. These people are protecting slave traders. Arnon Milchan. Arnon Milchan. Do you know that name? Arnon Milchan. Another one. I wasn't going to say anything today, but I prayed, and then Jesus said he had my back, so. Guys, also, the mystery company in the Papadopoulos Mueller probe, the mystery company, is Black Cube. Black Cube is Israeli intelligence. Black Cube is Mossad. It's private label Mossad. These people, all these people that are going against Q have been activated. And they're bad. They're bad people. They're very, very bad people. They protect the Khazarian mafia. They're protecting slave trading rings. Straight up. Gabe Hoffman is protecting slave traders. Gabe Hoffman slandered me and said that I retracted my claims against slave traders. They are protecting fucking slave traders. They're slave trading children. And these people are worse than pedos.
Gabe Hoffman is a producer in Hollywood, just for reference.
Worse than pedos. Cam Hoffman. Yeah, look, they hire operatives, right? They pay people off. They infiltrate your life. Gabe Hoffman is an open secret. These people are evil. These people are sick. And these people get paid to destroy the truth and destroy people that are saying the truth. Right? These people are fucking evil. Didn't you already know this? Yeah, you did, but I didn't know. There's people that you guys don't know that I've been involved with that it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. NT making $25,000 a month on podcasts. NT is a collaborator of fucking Mossad agents, guys. These people.
I don't know who NT is. Do you guys know? Let me know in the chat if you know who that is.
Fucking evil. And a lot hit me today. I found out a lot of stuff today, and it's bad. It's bad, guys. It's really bad. I need to tell us. No, I really don't, Helene. I really don't need to tell you all. I'm telling you a lot right now. I'm telling you that there are unregistered foreign agents in this country acting on behalf of slave traders. Slave traders. James Gunn got his job back. James Gunn got his job back. Alex Jones being Mossad isn't a big leap. No, not at all. Not at all.
So, just to remind you guys, he outs Alex Jones as part of Mossad too. That he's basically controlled opposition. He's just said it.
Not at all. Go in on more slave. Guys, what do you think the exploitation of children is? It's slave trading. It's a fucking big industry. Why do you think Obama opened up the border? Why do you think all those children came over? It's slave trading. It's fucking slave trading, guys. Gabe Hoffman is protecting slave trading. And by the way, I reached out to Cernovich in December of 2017. I said, dude, I have this.
This is what makes me a little bit suspicious of Candace Owens too, because she's like, Mike Cernovich is great. He's talking about Mike Cernovich, the political guy who was in with MAGA originally. Mike Cernovich. It's why I think he kind of liked Trump and thought they're going to save us. And he talks about Q, but I think Q too could have been some kind of operative, possibly driving him insane. I mean, we don't know. He outs Mike Cernovich and other people. It gets woo.
I need to get it out. I don't know who to trust. Okay. Did he hit me back? No. Who is paying Mike fucking Cernovich? Who is paying Jack Posobiec? Who is behind Gabe Hoffman? Guys, there's a lot of questions. Who is behind Laura Loomer?
Laura Loomer.
Who are behind these people?
Laura Loomer, and that crazy bitch is in the Pentagon as the journalist or whatever. She's whack. If she's even a she, we don't know. We don't know. Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Laura Loomer, major influencers, major mega influencers on X, Twitter, whatever.
People. Right? You need to ask that. You need to get. I don't have a Twitter account. I can't go ask these
Twitter.
people. I mean.
Okay. So we're going to go into the second video. They talk some more names. We're going to go through this. Q was and is a psyop. Yeah. I think if he was talking to any Q, I think they were probably trying to drive him insane. He's got the names right. He knows they're Mossad, but I think there was also this other asset that was driving this poor man nuts. Either that or he's part of it too. But anyways, let's go to the next video. I'll go through this. It's this one here. Let's check it out.
Conscience. That's 100% correct. Candace Owens, I don't know. Turning Point,
Candace
I don't
Owens.
know. I don't know them.
Candace Owens.
I don't know
He doesn't
them.
know if they're
but I
part
do
of it.
know that an army.
So I'll pause it because it glitched there. He says Candace Owens, Turning Point. He doesn't know. Now, I don't think Turning Point started out Mossad, but it's definitely is now, especially after Charlie Kirk's assassination. The media group that represents this podcast now is registered foreign agent, probably for Mossad. So take that one to the bank. So he doesn't know about Candace Owens. I don't know about Candace Owens. Whew. Jilly Bean says she thinks they used V2K on him. Q is a psyop within the already ongoing psyop. Psyop after psyop. It's like a kaleidoscope of psyops, never ending downward spiral of psyops.
Of people came into my life to try to destroy me, right? Some of them came from the front, some of them came from the back. Ben Shapiro. Yeah, look at Ben Shapiro.
Oh.
Look at fucking Ben Shapiro. I have an inkling. I don't know. I mean, you see him with Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan. Ben Shapiro. Fucking, who's the guy? Jordan Peterson? You think Gabe wrote the blinds on me and Mikey? Yeah. He most definitely did. Most definitely collaborated. Guys, this guy is a piece of shit, unregistered foreign agent protecting slave trading. Fuck him. Fuck you, Gabe Hoffman. Rogan is Mossad. I don't know that Rogan's Mossad, but I know that we see who he's collaborating with. Black Cube. Black
Cube. I said Kappy himself could be an unknown psyop, like they could have got to him, and is actually a guy. Some people think, Jilly Bean says, some say Kappy was a psyop, and it's actually a guy named Ezra. Could be. I mean, technically, it says here that he's Christian. Isaac Kappy made a feature film debut as a hustler in the movie Beer Fest in 2006. Yeah, he's done several movies, but personal life, he's appeared on Alex Jones. He says he's a psyop. He was part of the QAnon conspiracy theories, which involve a cabal of child molesters. I mean, we know this stuff is happening. But yeah, I believe he was from a Christian background, although who knows? He could be. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Let's go to the next video. But the thing is, he could be bipolar, but he's kind of making sense. The other thing that makes me feel like he's either bipolar, they've driven bipolar, or he's been drugged, something's happened to him as he's been an actor, is that he was constantly on social media, like nonstop, like almost manic. that's another flag that either he's been MK Ultra or he's been triggered or he's part of something and doesn't realize it. Next video.
Don't trust Oprah? Oprah's a fucking slave trader, guys. You shouldn't trust Oprah. Oprah is a slave trader. Oprah is a slave trader. Let that sink in. It's 100% true. Oprah Winfrey is a slave trader.
I was suspicious of Oprah Winfrey long before Kappy. She's had so many crazy people on her show and promoted John of God, like just crazy stuff and a lot of new age stuff. And she's trashed so many guests and set so many guests up in a really, really dishonest way, and including Michael Jackson. Here we go.
Why do you think she has that school in South Africa? Why does she hang out with who she hangs out with? Oprah Winfrey is a slave trader. How is she a slave trader? Does the name John of God ring a bell? LeBron has a school too. You know what? LeBron does have a school too. And you know what? LeBron did seem a little bit incensed about a certain guy getting elected president, didn't he? And you know what? LeBron was pretty tied up with a lady by the name of Hillary Clinton. Guys, this is widespread industrial slavery, guys, of children.
Okay. I'm gonna do the other two videos in just a second. We're gonna take a little break because I want to go over the good comments. He mentioned JFK Jr.'s name in his final speech. Jilly Bean says, "Did he?" Because there's this idea that they took out JFK Jr. because he was going to run in New York as and Hillary wanted the position and she got the position after, right? Lucas Williams said he could also be good old-fashioned bipolar. I believe that he struggled with mental illness as well, but his environment drove him even more crazy. Well, he could be. I mean, remember he's in Hollywood. I mean, they also know how to trigger bipolar. Say you're an actor and you're at these parties, you don't know what's real. You just get into some roles, you start doing drugs and you start hanging around people. I think you can actually do things that trigger you to be bipolar. Then you see stuff and you start talking about it. So now they can just say, well, that guy's bipolar. He's nuts. And they could have driven him that way. Yeah. Environment drove him more crazy. Jonaside said he was manipulated by Q for sure. I had friends at the time who would say, Q, trust the thing. I'm like, don't do that. That's a psyop. I said, there's no Q. They used to do this in communist Russia where they put out this idea of this secret person that was coming to save you and give you stuff. It just strings you along. Whew. Oprah was found to be with Sean Combs, Puffy. Oh, you mean baby oil Puffy? God, I mean, these people are sick and twisted, and a lot of them are like Sean Combs has connections to the FBI. Just crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, take one drink in one of those places and you're done. They could spike your drink. They could put stuff in it. They put like weird liquid cocaine in people's drinks, like just crazy stuff. So we don't know. He could have been somewhere and had a drink and it was spiked with liquid whatever and that that could ruin someone's brain. We'll never know. Um let's keep going. Let's go back to Kappy. I got two more videos. Let's go back.
Don't trust Oprah?
Don't trust Oprah. We got a longer one here, and then we'll finish it off. But I also have got some videos of him singing his song. Like he was a singer, and he used to do these raps impromptu talking about the Epstein class. Is quite ingenious. He's a smart guy, but it's clearly he's being driven to madness. And look, they do this to people. They do this to people where these agents will drive them nuts. Or the agents will actually choose crazy people like Manson and get them to do their dirty work because they know it'll be easy just to throw them in jail. If you're over emotional, if you're unstable, you're an easy target. That's why Niche said on the other show, you've got to remain calm and not emotionally overreactive. Let's go in for the longer video and see what Kappy says here.
Get locked up. People like Mikey get their lives destroyed. People like yours truly get infiltration from every fucking angle. Right? They cut off, guys, they try to cut off every means of support. They slander you. It's a Roman cult under Talmudic law. That's what you learned in why law. Judges wear robes, priests. Oh, wow. A Roman cult under Talmudic law.
He's reading a comment.
Guys, it's disgusting. These people are sick. They're fucking sick.
Just a little pause.
Remember when Gaddafi spoke to UN? Only place he could find to stay was on Trump property. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know
how
that.
true that is. I wouldn't trust Trump right now.
Gaddafi was
either.
trying to bring a gold standard to Africa, by the way. How much of this is related to religion? How much of it the sickness with children? Guys, this is their religion. They hide. They say they're Catholics. They say they're Jews. They say they're whatever. But their real religion is Luciferian, and it involves blood rituals and the exploitation of children. Bill Maher is a fucking exploiter of children. Steven Spielberg, exploiter of children. Roman pillars in the Senate, they're telling you who's in charge. Well, maybe we should take some of those columns out. Maybe we should take some of those columns out. Free men, Americans, people that believe in liberty, people that believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, people that believe in the Constitution, people that believe in Jesus, people that believe in God, people that believe in good. They don't protect slavery of children, guys. They just don't. It's not something you do if you're a good person. You don't protect the slavery of children if you're a good person. If you're a good person, you don't do that. Sadly, there are not a lot of good people. Well, there's a lot of good people. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of good people. But there's a lot of people that can be corrupted. They can be bought off. There's a lot. It's sad. It's sad. You loved the unity of Catholicism. It's sad the sick people are in control of it. Guys, they've been in control of it for a long time.
Okay. Some interesting comments here. And I actually had a clip of this, but I didn't have room to put it in. But let's go up here. There was a good one from Jonaside. Jonaside says, Seth Green was what got Kappy into all of this by trying to recruit him, but he turned them down and exposed him. And he mentions Seth Green. You guys know who Seth Green is? The actor? Seth Green. You remember him? Dr. Evil's son. How appropriate. He was in Austin Powers as Dr. Evil's son. That's just one of his roles. He's done many roles. You can go look him up. He's a ginger. And yeah, he mentions Seth Green quite frequently, actually. And that's, I think, where it originally started with him, was his experience with Seth Green. Thank you, Jonaside, for bringing that up. That was a super important. Yo, talk about chicken? What do you mean talk about chicken? Am I missing something? Tell me what I'm missing. He was in Austin Powers, I know that. He plays the Dr. Evil's son. You guys probably know more than I do because I didn't watch this stuff live. I was busy raising my kid and working like 2 or 3 jobs at the time. It's so crazy, it's so crazy. But, he lists a whole bunch of things, and I'm gonna pop this up right now because people have mentioned Tom Hanks. I'm just gonna pop this image up. Where is it? Here is Rocco. DJ Rocco says, "This needs to be investigated by the Anon community." Tom Hanks posted this about a month before Isaac Kappy, the man who accused Tom Hanks of being a PDF file, committed suicide on Route 66 a few days ago. So it wasn't after. He posted this before. It's almost like a clue. And this image, he's posting roadkill on the Route 66 near the area where he actually did it. And he died in Arizona, of all places. Here, like, as if Arizona is not suspicious right now. Yeah, he died in Arizona off a bridge, they say. They say he jumped off a bridge, and what some people are saying when it was like a 22-foot bridge or something, he threw himself over, and then they say a truck hit him. He got hit by traffic. That's the claim. But of course, when people came, we'll get into that in the second half. We'll get into the actual scene. I don't want to be too graphic for YouTube's sake. We're going to actually I'm going to finish off this little bit with the last kind of 60 seconds of that stream and how he ends it. And let's go look at that and see. This is the last minute and how he ends his last stream before he parted this world.
Here's the thing. It's all about message over messenger, okay? Message over messenger, right? Trust the message. And I said this in the very beginning, guys. I said this isn't about me because there will probably be a point where they try to take me out. And lo and behold, I was right, right? It's not about me. It's about decentralization. It's about the message, not the messenger, right? No idols. That's right. It's not about cult of personality. It's about the message. My message is, let's stop the global slave trade of children, right? Can we just agree to that? Can we start that for, like, as the human race? Yeah. Pretty reasonable, right? Reasonable place to start. Reasonable place to start. I love you guys. We're going to talk soon. I'm pretty sure I'll be back later today. Take care.
And unfortunately, he wasn't back because I believe that was his last stream. Jilly Bean says Seth spoke to him about chicken, which is code for children. Okay. Tracy Twyman. What does he say about I don't know about Tracy Twyman. That's the author. Let's see. She and actor Isaac Kappy were closely associated through the alternative media and conspiracy theory communities. She died the same year in July 9th in Portland, Oregon. Her death was ruled as unalive herself. Prior to passing, she collaborated with Kappy on various projects and was highly regarded in the fringe internet culture. Yeah, there was other ones who were suddenly found hung in their garage. And are people who would have people show up and intimidate them and scare them so bad that they shut up. And we'll get into that stuff in the second half. We're going to go and take a look at a Kappy song. It is just such a bizarre thing, the things that he was saying. He would have an insider, especially if Seth Green approached him. And a lot of people in yeah, Incognita said she was off too. Yes, she was. And there was another fellow, there was someone else, maybe it was her or maybe it's somebody else that was found hung in there. Yeah, it's just so suspicious, like, the people that are attached to Hillary Clinton, like, all these people, they're found hung from a tree and stabbed or shot a bazillion times, and it's deemed that they unalive themselves. There is that Jewish woman, she's linked up with what is it, the governor of oh, what's his name? I can't remember. Is he in Pennsylvania? I can't remember who it is anymore. Ohio? I can't remember. But he had them cover up her death as an unaliving, even though 19 of the stab wounds were reported to be done after she died. Like, this happens all the time. All the time. Jonah says, I remember Kappy saying he fucked up and did something, and then he was demised. Yeah, there's part of this, there's part of some when he's talking where he's apologizing, like, maybe I did something wrong. Okay, so Incognito saying that was her who was found hung in her garage. Yeah, super, super suspicious. Very suspicious. Just insane. Okay, so Jillybean says she thinks the blonde lady is super suspicious. She ended up with another researcher. We're gonna watch. She was on the Sean show. She was Sean Atwood show. I'm gonna show clips of them because they talk about how suspicious it was. It doesn't necessarily mean she did it because she ended up with someone else. She's saying she wasn't dating him. She just what he was calling for people to come and she was over there talking to him, and that she met the investigator guy because he started investigating the murder, and they formed a relationship over time. I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to Well, look, we'll get to her, and when we do, we will, I'll go back to your comments, Jellybean. I'll go back to your comments on that one. This is Isaac Kappy. He used to do a lot of songs to talk about it, to express it, because he was very musically talented. We're going to go listen to him. It's a long one. We'll pause it.
That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in the man.
I'm going to forward it and see here.
Doom. Well, I hate to be a harbinger of bad news, but people took devices into the temple, you friggin' idiots. That's why we have everything. We have everything. We must unseal. Let's see what lurks inside those records.
All right, let's go forward a bit more to the end. I don't want to play too much of it.
What about, the Clintons are big time into it. Of course. Venati, I don't know. We know that Avenatti was trying to blackmail Nike. But by the way, Nike is Epstein problems too. You see, Portland is Epstein problems too. And Hillary is Epstein problems too. It's all Epstein, guys.
So according to Kappy, everything is not demons. Everything is Epstein. So you can like that. He did that for 8.5 minutes. I only played a little bit and popped it through to you guys. He did that for 8.5 minutes, singing like that, impromptu. And in the comments, they're saying Seth Green's friends that they're saying Macaulay Culkin is sick. I don't know if that's true. So someone's saying, so the bridge he allegedly jumped from is in a place called Truth and Consequence, not far from a military base. Interesting to know. Everyone says he may have sounded insane, but he was 1,000% correct. R.I.P. Kappy. Isaac was thrown off that bridge. So he mentions West Palm Beach in the video. Someone says Palm Beach Pete. Hello. It's all of them. Someone says Alex Jones is control up and a gatekeeper. Anthony Weiner files are sick. I've come across some photos in the dark web 2019. Wow. So okay, let's pop this up. Someone thinks that David Mayer de Rothschild and Isaac Kappy are the same person. I don't know about that. I don't know. That would be funny. Just putting it out there since everybody's putting shit out there. Someone said, I'm going to take a wild guess that this guy died an untimely death after he did this song. Yeah, just crazy, crazy stuff. Jacket in brackets. God, that's awful. I don't know. It's kind of funny. It kind of shows it. I don't think it's awful. I think it shows his spunky. Like it's a good way to communicate this stuff. It gets people engaged. He would do more songs impromptu. He would. Let's go look at another video of him. We'll do another one. I believe I have something over here on Facebook. Let's go check it out. Here we go.
By the way, I'll just fucking out him. Jim Carrey called me up last week. I talked to him for 5.5 hours. He's like begging me to like get a deal with Q. Like he's afraid of the fucking brackets. I'm like, and it's just like yammering on with crap, but like not owning up or doing anything fucking meaningful. Meanwhile, just lying to everybody. Guys, you are fucking cowards. You're going down. You're gonna fucking die. That's it. You're gonna die. If you ate kids, you're gonna fucking die. You can't get over that shit. That's a death sentence. You cannot fucking live.
I was asking, where do they get the children? Where do all these children come from? Well, it has a lot to do with illegal immigration. The porous border on our southern border. So the southern border, there are so many unaccompanied minors that just, they come up, they get snatched up, they get sold off. Yeah, sad. Yes, and foster care. Guys, foster care is a huge CPS. It is a huge scam. There's this woman named Nancy Schaefer who, at least she's from Georgia, and she was investigating child trafficking through the CPS, and she got murdered. And I believe that was in 2010. But it's really sad. A lot of people investigating this stuff, they turn up dead.
Fucking tired of people lying. I've watched these people just lie and 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 lie, and they will never fucking tell the truth. So I'm here Tell the truth. Seth Green. Sorry, my man. Fucking. To not delete. What part of you thought it was like, whatever. You guys, the world is changing. The world is changing.
Okay, I'm gonna pause that. So, there you go. That's the Linwood tweet that they're showing. And Linwood basically said many issues in our world may be tied to blackmail scheme I described tonight, including bizarre behavior of officials and judges in a recent election. And they're appealing to Donald Trump to appoint special prosecutor. Well, I think Donald Trump, I wouldn't depend on Donald Trump to call for any sort of thing. As you can see, he's like, are you still talking about the Epstein files? Like I said, if Kappy was mentally ill or had been compromised or had declining mental health, he would have been easy to string along with certain narratives, and there very well is probably this cabal and child trafficking, but so that people don't get to the core of it, they can trick people like this, so it leads them astray. He specifically, I mean, I wouldn't trust Joe Rogan or Alex Jones. He doesn't know about Candace Owens. I don't know about, I don't know anymore who. Fuck if I know. He clearly in this last stream was concerned that he'd been betrayed, that he'd been infiltrated. So it's their system. This whole thing is their system. So you've got to assume that most people are probably in on this. Most people aren't strong enough because they know they would be whacked. Seth Green, I mean, he's been acting since he was a young child. I think most of these people probably were raised like this and are messed up and don't see a problem with it because they think they'll never be caught. So I'm saying JC, so you're saying he's dead? Kappy? Yeah. Um, well, look, there's some people saying he's dead. Some people, there's all sorts of stuff. I got one more thing to show you guys, and then we're gonna go into some people talking about the actual case and what actually happened. Um, I think this is it. Mhm. Hmm. Maybe it's not. It reset it. Okay, let's just check. Let's just go here and this is we don't. There was something I wanted to look at, and it was about Tom Hanks, and I lost it. Let's type in. Let's do that. That looks like AI. I don't want to play. There it is. So Christine Keller wrote in February, when Isaac Kappy exposed Hollywood's rampant elite child trafficking, he was taken out or unalived not too long after he allegedly jumped off a bridge and was hit and ran over by a car, some say a truck. What makes this compelling is the post made by Tom Hanks, who was one of the celebrities Kappy exposed. Hanks posted the pictures on social media of a cap with a splatter around it and latex glove on the ground next to the caption, Historic Route 66 Roadkill. I hope not. Hanks. Where did Kappy get hit by a car? He jumped off the bridge, and you guessed it, he was on Route 66. Tom Hanks had this obsession with photographing lost gloves, which symbolism could go on to describe a variety of theories. But what is most compelling is the picture of Hanks posted to social media on the left with the glove and the letters SRC USA written above it in chalk on the road. This is extremely disturbing and telling because this SRC USA was found to be directly connected to child sexual imagery on the Russian search engine Yandex. Out of all things, he just happened to post a picture of something that contained something directly linked to child SA imagery. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no coincidences. They communicate, brag, mock, and program you through symbolism. Learn to identify and understand this symbolism. This picture here, apparently, this guy was drunk and Tom Hanks. Yeah, I don't know if that's legit, but Tom Hanks was posting all sorts of really strange pictures. What is it about the red hand? There's something about a red handprint. I don't know. Julie says, find the video about him talking about Seth and Claire and the talk about chicken that they has while at their house and the bookshelf. That was actually in that one video where he talked about that. Yeah, that was in one video, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that again. I think that was in this video here really quickly, but we missed it because I forwarded it. Let's go back to. I think it might have been in here really quickly. It's hard because they have all this loud music behind it. It's hard to yeah, it's hard to hear it sometimes. So where do we go? Is it here? Well, that's the CPS stuff. Here, I think it was in this one here.
A lot of people investigating this stuff, they turn up dead.
Fucking tired of people lying. I've watched these people just lie and 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 lie and
There. It was a tweet. Isaac Kappy tweeted, people are talking a lot about the PDF file jokes. The craziest pedo joke I ever heard was when Seth turned up to me and said, this is where we keep the children, as he was pulling back a secret bookshelf that revealed a hidden room at his Malibu house. And someone said there was something about they showed him a room that was like looked like a children's room or something really creepy and really weird. It's some symbolism about the red hand, about child trafficking or something. I don't know. Someone could clarify that for me because there's so much symbolism and crazy stuff, and everybody's got opinions. It's like it gets hard to keep track of. Really, honestly, it gets really bizarre. So that was who is Claire, by the way? Is that some actress that I'm just too Gen X and in my own world to know? Because I don't even keep up with these guys, but I know the death surrounding this guy is so insanely suspicious, just like the other girl, just like the scientists that are disappearing, right? Just it's bizarre. It's beyond bizarre. Frazzle drip. Okay, so the red hand is about frazzle drip. Is that what you're saying? Is Seth gone too? No, Seth is still alive. Seth Green is still alive. The guy singing the song, that was Kappy. He's gone. He is gone. Kappy unfortunately is gone. So I'm going to I've got to put some new videos in my thing when we go on break. It takes a while for this to upload it, but I've got clips from that interview. Now I know that Jilly Bean doesn't like this girl, but we're gonna listen to what they say about the investigation and the scene because it feels like there's definitely some cover up. Like there's definitely something bizarre going on about the actual scene and the death. There was a girl that came forward at the Pilot gas station that said it was a homeless man who died. Some people think Kappy didn't die, that he's in witness protection, or that he was an asset or an agent, or that oh, Claire is Seth's wife. Thank you, Jonacide. Yeah, like the Wilson soccer ball, red bloody hand. Yeah, the bloody hand. There is also oh, I had it in my mind. I totally forgot. I'm gonna upload some of these videos right now. And no. We're gonna get them into the system. I'm doing it with my mobile phone, so I don't have to mess around on the computer, but it'll take a while to upload, and then I'll have to refresh everything, and we'll do a break in a few minutes. Many bad actors involved, but there was what was it that they were oh, I lost the thought. It's gone. Maybe it will come back. There is something really bizarre about this, and because the media and everyone lies so much, it's really hard to know, like, was he an agent? Was he an asset? Was he real? Oh, did they mess with him? I know there's FBI people who say they messed with UFO. I'm not going to name any names of these FBI people, but they drove people who were investigating UFOs insane. David Wilcock, he talked about Q. He recently died. People say he was mentally ill. Yeah, and he had financial problems, but did people drive him that way? Did people isolate him? That's one of the tactics that Kappy keeps saying is they infiltrate and they isolate you from everyone. They'll phone your family members and say you're mentally ill. They'll get in everywhere and turn everyone against you. Hey, look, narcissists, psychopaths do this. I've experienced with that with my ex-husband. They'll go everywhere and infiltrate and make it look like you are the problem when they are actually these evil, abusive, manipulative assholes. Like, it happens. You have to have a strong mind to endure it. And if you don't, unfortunately, you're going to fall prey to it. Someone like Michael Jackson, I was listening to his lawyer talk, and he's like, Michael Jackson just didn't have he was a very sensitive person. He couldn't endure it. It just whittled him away to nothing with all these accusations that were clearly false. And when you go look at the documentaries and their accusations and their story changes, some of these people who have accused him after he died, they tried to sell music, and it was almost like they were in with Sony to make fake songs. And then when that doesn't work, they come back and say, we're going to accuse him of sexual abuse and go after the estate. Like, just crazy stuff going on. And you can't help but think that there are people who are super, super talented, and they become targets because there is this dynamic, and a lot of people don't understand that they'll make money off of you when you're live. When you become too powerful, or you have investments, or become a problem, they will say, okay, they'll take you down, they'll smear you, they'll ruin your brand, they'll take you down because they can make money off of that, selling it in the media as well. And then they'll destroy you, and then they'll usurp your brand, take over your brand, and then republish it, and then start publishing stuff like he's innocent, and then they'll make money off the brand later when you're gone, after they've taken over your state. Like, you can look at Michael Jackson, and that looks like exactly what happened to him. And then because everybody believes the media, they believe every story that happens. And this Michael Jackson's lawyer knows what they do. They know what the press do. The press reports total lies about court cases. Like, absolutely, a press agent will sit in a court, and the prosecutor will come in, and they'll have a witness, and they'll ask the witnesses questions, and it will look damning because you don't know all the information. The person from the press will leave immediately and go write that up as, oh, damning evidence from an investigator. They don't stay and listen to the cross questioning from the defense, and the defense meanwhile destroys the witness in the court, right? So you think in the media that, oh my God, there's damning evidence. But if you were in the court, in the reality of the case, you would see that, oh, the defense just totally destroyed that evidence and proved that it was false, but the media won't report on that. They'll just report on what they want you to know. And so anyone can say anything in the media or on Twitter. Um, they can make up anything about you. But you have to watch the court case to see what they say in the court, because they can lie in the media, but they can't lie in the court. Two different things. Yeah. Two different things. So Jill Bean says, this is another good, interesting avenue. In my opinion, many have faked their deaths to get out of the cabal. Yeah, that would be one way. That would definitely be one way. It would be hard. That would be very difficult to do. That would be very difficult to do. Okay, guys, we're going to take a little bit of intermission, about 7 minutes, let the dogs out. The other videos are going to upload. Stick around, give a thumbs up, go get your ale, go get your water, go get your whatever it is you drink, a coffee, come back in a few minutes, but keep your screens open, thumbs up and share, because we're going to come back and go through the that interview and what was really going on that bridge. There's a whole bunch of theories, and yeah, we'll get into that part of it, and I will be right back, guys. Hold tight. Don't go anywhere. And subscribe. Subscribe. All right, everybody. I see some of you left. I'm sorry. It wasn't uploading properly. So if we're going to look at this, we're probably going to have to go right to the video and skip around. Unfortunately, it was being a pain. Some of them are like, we're not going to upload. We're not going to do this today. So technology, but we can go right to the video. It is Sean Atwood. He's actually what you would consider a conspiracy theorist. And he interviews the people that Jilly Bean were talking about. He interviews they're from Phoenix Enigma website. And it's that guy and the girl, their boyfriend and girlfriend. They're called Phoenix Enigma. That's their website. And so he kind of interviews them. Asking about this because they investigated at large and they talk about all these details, some of them that we have talked about. So, I mean, it's going to be a little rough because we don't have the clips. The clips would have been better, but my system was being naughty. Maybe I should pay just to upload all the videos that I want. I don't want to pay them any more money. It's crazy. Hey, John aside, yeah, we had about 20 people, 18 to 20 people in the room. Now we only have 9. So, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done the intermission, but the dogs, they got to go out to the bathroom. They wanted a little treat. They got to have some love. You got to go out there so they're not sitting there forever. I don't know how people can do these like 5, 6, 7-hour streams. That's just, I don't think I could sit for that long. This is enough, but let's go. Let's just get into the video and we'll skip around and have a conversation about it. It's the best that we're going to be able to do right now, I think. And before we get into this video, I will share the official announcement. Thor actor Isaac Kappy, 42, commits, you know what? That's the official one, May 16th, 2019. It was on May 13th. And what's really weird about this death is apparently he was at a Comic-Con and he announced this kind of Epstein stuff. Like he talked about it right at the Comic-Con and the date and time that he did it. And then the date and time that he jumped off the bridge. The time that he jumped off the bridge was an inversion of the time that he announced it. Like there was this numer and 1:33:13, like it was all involved. I believe that the day that he jumped off the bridge allegedly was like the 133rd day of the year, and it just the numbers get weird. The numbers get a little bit bizarre. So we're just going to go right into this because the Phoenix Enigma, this guy and his girlfriend, they've investigated. Now his girlfriend actually knew Kappy and she had visited with him just before he passed away. Now some people are suspicious of that. I'm not going to pass judgment on that right now. But she tells about how she was with him and was calming him down because he was very paranoid. He was looking all over. He thought people were following him. You could say, well, that's schizophrenia. That's bipolar. Very well. But we know that whistleblowers and people who say things go through this and they make them look insane. We know that happens too. So we're going to talk about this.
A very tight-knit group of about 1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
At the top of the description box below this video, we've got almost 5,000 people have jumped onto this live stream in the first 15 minutes, which looks like we're setting a record today. So many people are fascinated by this case. Just to give a recap then, what is going on here? We had the Linwood tweets at the beginning of the year. I read those out at the beginning of this video.
Mm-hmm.
He refers to Epstein. He refers to Isaac Kappy. There's a bridge between the two. Our motto on this channel is end the war on drugs. Take all those resources to start the war on people.
Was it Periscope, baby, or did you do Instagram? It was a Periscope. He came out and he said, man, I've been holding it back for a long time, and today's the day, something to the effect, paraphrasing here. He said, I got to call it out. This can't go on. This can't go on. And Seth Green, everyone needs to know, Seth Green, my man.
Sorry, I'm just going to do the speed a little bit faster. There.
I love you, but it's going on. It has to stop. Then he called out Spielberg, I believe. And I think a little later on, he called out Tom Hanks. He says it's been going on. And then he goes in later. That was the beginning. And then in the subsequent week, it blew up. It just blew up. And he was approached by different characters who got him on July 24th. He was on Lift the Veil with Nathan Stoltman.
Okay, we're going to go through this. We kind of went through a lot of this stuff. Go through his ad.
After helping over 700 people land talks all over the world.
This is what's annoying about YouTube when they put these ads.
And numerology. And there's a whole section on all the numeric.
Let's go here.
Here we go. And he's freestyling, making a song rhyming about and these criminals and what's going to happen to him, and everything we need to look into. He's dropping all these clues to this beat. It's about 20-some minutes. It's absolutely beautiful. And he has another one too. But so he then couldn't stand it anymore. And he came out at the Comic-Con on 7/22 at 1:33 in the afternoon. Here's something interesting. And being an occultist, being someone who studies ancient knowledge, ancient hidden knowledge, question knowledge, I'm a numbers guy, and I look at numbers. Isaac Kappy died on 7/22 at 1:33 in the afternoon. Okay, I'm sorry. He came out at 7/22 at 1:33 in the afternoon and told the world about and all that. He died on May 13th at 7:22 in the morning is when he was on that bridge when the dash cam from the Camp Navajo security dash cam camera caught him. Okay, he died on the 13th of May is the 133rd day. He died at 7:22 in the morning on the 133rd day of the year. He came out and talked about on 7/22 at 1:33 in the afternoon. And I mean, it's exact. The time and date of Isaac Kappy's death is an exact reversal of when he first came out and talked about this openly. If that doesn't blow your mind, okay, I don't know what will. Go to the mind map for all you guys listening and click on ritual.
Okay, let's go forward a bit.
I started watching and I joined the Fam Lam chat and
So this is the blonde girl that Jilly Bean Lai was talking about. She comes in, she was in those live chats and she knew him, and she kind of spent some time with him in the days before he died because he was saying he was alone and he needed somebody. So she's going to get into her story. I want to forward it a bit.
he felt he had betrayed his president and he felt that he had
His last Periscope on Friday, just for context. Okay, so
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
Yeah. So I left early Saturday morning. My girlfriend came over and babysat my pooch for me, and because I knew it would be a long day. And when I arrived, he was in a much more agitated state than he was on Wednesday. He was very nervous and very anxious, and he was in such a state that his body would get really tight, and his legs would get tight, and his arms would come up, and he was just having whole body clenching. He was so upset and distraught, and he would check the window every time he heard a car pass. He would look out the back window. He'd run down the hall and check his bedroom window. He was terrified, and he told me that day that I asked him straight out, Isaac, I need to know if you're suicidal. I need to know. I did prevention text line for about a year, and they trained us to just come out and ask. So I asked him, are you suicidal? We're all very worried about you. And he said, I'm not suicidal. He said, but what's coming for me? Suicide might be a gentler option. He said, they're going to tear me limb from limb. And he says, I just don't know if I can go through that. And it was horrible. It was horrible to see a man so terrified and feel the energy of his fear for his life. said goodbye, and I should have brought him with me. I should have just made him pack a bag and come. It might not have stopped the inevitable, but it might have given us a few more days. God, it just
I was muted.
I can't say anything more about that. I talked to him on Sunday, and he told me, let me get back to you. I said, all right, let's talk about when we're going to get together. So, all right, he says, I'll get back to you in a little bit. And a couple hours later, he said, I really need to go see my mom. So I'm going to pack up some things and I'm going to head out, and I'll see you when I get back. He had plans to come back, and he didn't even make it to his mom. Okay.
So he was telling her that he was going to his mom's and he never made it. So what is it that everybody doesn't trust about the Phoenix Enigma? Someone said he's a LARPer. The Corey, that's the guy. And people don't trust her. They're saying awful, bad. Not good. I'm not sure what the history of, because I wasn't in the chats with them at this time. So you guys can let me know in the comments the specific things that make you suspicious about this lady here.
So, Isaac was just like the rest of us. He was a real person. None of us are perfect. He wasn't either, but his heart was in the right place. His passion was in the right place for what he was doing. And
here we go. Let's go forward.
I was sleeping in a garage at the time. I had to move in.
Okay. So it's about him right there.
And I realized that, something was, that I was watched. Okay. Because.
So someone's saying they tried to profit off Kappy. They're saying they don't. In this interview, they say they have all their information for free, that anyone can access it. So I'm just saying that's what they say in the interview.
You most definitely were watched over in Apple Valley.
I think I was.
That they don't monetize
Then on
anything.
Wednesday morning, when I got up, my Telegram notes between me and Isaac in our private chat were moved. I thought they were gone entirely. They were moved. They had been archived. I didn't even.
She also says just before this that it's she is talking about them coming after him. He was really paranoid. He said he was going to his mother's and he never made it. She also starts saying this, but she says that someone hacked into her computer, like she could see it being taken over. That happens. Oh, Diligent says Corey here is buddies with Thomas Schoenberger and the Takata Group 3301 group. If you know, you know. I don't know. Incognito says she's more believable than Erica Kirk. That's for sure if she's faking it. Yeah, she's a better actor. Anyways, I want to get to the... So he said he built a website. Some of it is true. A lot of it is just theory. Yeah. Well, we're all kind of speculating here. I mean, he could have been mentally ill, but like I said, there's some people who say that it was a homeless man that did it. Is a homeless man that jumped off. Not him, that they don't think it's him. And then what he does is he questions the video, the footage. So he got access to footage, and apparently Kappy's mother sent him a 17-second recording that the police gave her, and the police held up the mobile phone and recorded it from the dash cam of somebody. Right? They recorded off the dash cam, and it showed him like in a really weird position, like sitting, like just really strange. And to them, it looked like he wasn't sitting on a bridge about to go back. It looked like he was lying flat, and they took it and manipulated it somehow in the footage. It's really odd. Let's go.
Know how to do an archive, and I had to have somebody help me see.
I want to listen to the details of what he says about the case.
Show as well, and I thought, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, this is all right. This could be bad. It could be good. And I talked to her once or twice. Twice, and I did a pre-interview with her, and she's like, Corey, I'm not crazy. I spoke to Isaac on the night of the 13th at 7:30. I was standing on my front porch. I know what time it was and what day it was. My husband was coming home from work. He walked up the stairs, and I was on the phone with Isaac, and she said, and my husband said, who are you talking to? I said, Isaac. and she knew Isaac. She was in no, she wasn't in the fam. She wasn't in the fam. She just knew him. And someone else in the fam verified and vouched and said, no, I know this person. There's a tie into other people. So she was definitely connected to this group, just wasn't into the fam. And I ran with the story. I had her on, since then I've talked to her since then, like 2 or 3 times. And I said, where are you at on your story? And she said, I don't know what to make of it, Corey. I know what happened. Maybe I'm going crazy. I know what happened. And there's that, that was a way, and I hate to go off on that and give people, hope that he's still alive when most people.
Oh, that's somebody saying that they saw him alive. It's possible.
I don't know what happened there.
He sent the information to that he did trust, foolishly or otherwise, was the NSA. Do you guys then believe what Linwood has said, and from what Isaac said, putting all this together with your own information, do you believe that information, he tried to get it to the president, the agency intercepted it, it never got to the president, and a decision was made to take Isaac Kappy out?
Okay. The thing that's really weird is their faith in Donald Trump, that he's going to solve everything, when Donald Trump is probably just as deep in with these cabals and Epstein and covering for people. And we know that now we know for sure. Says Kappy was a targeted individual. He was getting gang stalked and electronically harassed by a satanic online cult. Yeah. I believed. He calls them Luciferians. And there's no doubt if he starts outing actors, they're going to come for him. And remember, most of Hollywood is an arm of these agencies. They have their money, and most actors, remember, have a handler. They can only say so much in interviews. A lot of actors have handlers that tell them how to be and what to say and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
This is why I like having clips, because I don't like this crap.
Been in direct contact with Linwood since we've been speaking to him and his team. I was text when Linwood first came out on the 1st with the Isaac material and made that comment. Of course, my world blew up that day. People were texting, and I thought, oh my God, like this is the godsend. This is it. This is it. This is finally what we've been working for. The mind map is finally going to get some eyes on it. It had some eyes on it, people, but there's a niche people who actually look at this thing, right? And everyone was texting and sending the link to the mind map to Linwood. I received a text from somebody I'm not going to name and said, I've been instructed to tell you to call this gentleman here. I'm not going to tell you who it is either. He is a very good friend of General Flynn's. I want you to have a conversation with him, and he can put you in touch with Lynn. So I made that phone call, and about 15-20 minute phone call. I said I'm going to wait out in 2 minutes for you. And after that, I said, you want to keep talking about Isaac? And he says yes. So he then said okay. And he asked me another series of questions. Said let me call you back or get in touch with you. I got to make some phone calls here. And he asked me some more text message questions, and I was answering them. And he says, can you attach any of this to any politicians? And, I forwarded him some of the names that Isaac had mentioned. I have no direct knowledge of this, but here's the people that Isaac was talking about. And he said, Lynn will be contacting you. And Lynn called me that night about 10:30, something like that, AZ time. And we had about an hour and 20-minute conversation with him and one of his associates there, a fellow researcher or whoever the guy is, I'm not sure. We've been in constant contact with them as well. There were two days after that, during the day before the 5th and the 6th. But all yesterday I was in contact, and today we've been in contact with them. There's a lot of information flying around right now. It is.
So I'm going to pause it right there. I can tell you right now, I don't trust Linwood or any of these attorneys. Do you guys trust? I don't. Something seems weird. That's, yeah, I don't trust. Are you saying Kappy's father worked for the DOE? I don't know. Something's weird about that Linwood guy and all what was going around at that time, and that other chick with Release the Kraken. There's just something weird about that guy. I don't trust that he went to him. But I'm not going to be able to find the clip. This is such a long interview, and I had the clips of him talking about the really strange thing. So let's just go with it here. I'm going to go back here. We'll come back to this in a second. I just don't want to make the whole show me playing this damn video. Apparently there was multiple people with multiple different testimonies about what happened. Like, there was vehicles, like, literally one behind the other, maybe 2 cars separated, that had completely different testimonies. One guy, the first guy, said he seen Kappy trying to go over the bridge, all weird, putting his leg over. And then the other person, almost at the same time, a few cars back, said he saw Kappy sitting there with his arms like almost leaning backwards and jerking up front. And the video shows something really strange. The video shows him kind of behaving really bizarre, very weird, and almost, like I said, like, it looked like they had turned it upside down, and that it looked like Kappy had laid down to make sure he was seen, to make sure you saw him. And the back of his head, as it looks like he's sitting on the bridge, looks like it's flattened, like he's laying down. And it looks like they've done something and manipulated that image and tried to make it look like he was going off the bridge, but it actually looks like he's lying down. Very strange stuff. There's also like the traffic changes in certain scenes where he's in the video that they sent them, that he clipped, that he got. Whereas, like, there's regular traffic and then there's none and there's no sound. Like, they're really suspicious of some of the video footage, almost like the footage with Epstein's holding cell. Like, almost like there's seconds missing, or something just feels off, like it's out of sync. And he does say that about the video footage, and some people do think that Kappy actually staged his death and went into witness protection. But if it's hard to say. Like, he could be a psyop. Like, we don't know. Lynn Wood, all these people, they just make me suspicious. There's just something about it that makes me question it. It really does. It's very bizarre. I have a comment. I'm just going to pop this up in front of. This is one of the comments that was in the video. It's from Kelly Cuckoo, 3143. She said, "I was Kappy's friend, and I was in his life daily. He told us over and over that they were going to off him. He told us even more that he wouldn't off himself, and he wasn't Sua, you know what. He helped expose Epstein, and he knew it was dangerous. He was able to do more than the rest of us. It's excruciating for me to think of what they did to him. I miss him forever, and I pray he's at peace. Love you, Kappy." A lot of people are talking about this because the inversion of the number, that this is literally a sacrificial ritual. If it is these people, weird people in Hollywood, and he rejected them, that this was some kind of like, okay, this is a good one. We've driven him crazy. Let's do our crazy, creepy, weird stuff to him and off him. And this is our ritual, because there was that inversion. And, 33, 33, 133, all these numbers keep showing up, and it's really creepy and Masonic and Luciferian and, Diligent Escape says, "Nobody remembers this, but a week before Kappy's last stream, he was under the impression that he was going to jail for 20 to 30 years. I think RDS and his lawyer buddy baked some legal papers." Interesting. Why? I wonder why he would think he was going to jail for 20 or 30 years. DOE, Kappy wore a hat with Department of Energy. Interesting. Interesting. Some of the comments, I'm like, it's hard to make sense of everything because it just feels so freaking crazy. So let's go back and see. I just wish I could have those clips because they're pretty specific. And some people seem to think these are LARPing investigators. They kind of seem a little odd. Now that I've seen the Lynn Wood name, they kind of seem a little odd to me.
Somebody else who was following and researching the Isaac Kappy death, he was making a lot of noise online at the time. he was calling other people out. He says, I know what happened. I know who killed Isaac. And there's videos out there. If you go, I don't want to say it on your show. I don't want to, but if you want to go to the Isaac Kappy mind map, guys, again, it's not monetized. If you want to go there, go under Dead Man Switch or the DMS and scroll down, and you're going to find info on this. I'm
posting it in the live chat right now. The link, if you're watching this, link is going in the live chat.
There's a video down there. It's about an hour long, and this guy talking, a guy I was in contact with yesterday. As of yesterday, he's still here. But he said he believes who killed or has something to do with Isaac's death. And he also, on June 1st, he disappeared. That was it. And then on the 2nd, his uncle jumped on his social media and said Robert was found hanged in his garage.
So I was right. It wasn't that lady. It was this Robert guy who was also found hanged in his garage. Robert David Steele. Some people think he's actually really alive, playing a character on YouTube's. Diligent Escape says maybe he's Palm Beach Pete. Well, here's the weird thing about that. So obviously a lot of crazy things happened in 2019. You have Kappy dying in May. You've got Epstein actually getting whacked. What was it, July? Hillary Clinton's brother had cancer and he dies in June. There's this theory out there, and this is just us speculating, that Epstein wasn't offed. That Epstein was actually, they used the body of Hillary Clinton's brother as Epstein. And if you go and look at Hillary's brother, he looks a lot like Epstein, and people think because he died like, I don't know, a month or so before the Epstein alleged unaliving, that Epstein's still alive and that they just used Hillary Clinton's brother's body. That was what was carried out of the jail. Because if you look at the two, the body they carry out, the features look slightly different from Epstein. The ears, the nose, that kind of stuff. So that was a theory. Go look up what Hillary Clinton's brothers look like. Come back and tell me what you think about that one, because it's an interesting theory.
I don't know what he went on. You can read the note. I don't think the note's in there. I didn't put that in there. I will.
Oh my God, buddy, get a narrative.
If the FBI is in possession of those files, and I believe they squirrel hold those things.
Okay, here we go. Let's back it up.
Found with dirt all over, like someone had drug her out into a field or something that brought her back.
Before they hanged her.
Who was Tracy? What?
Okay, so he just said that he's talking about Tracy. That it looked like somebody drug her out to the field and bring her back and then hung her. So both of these people, Robert and Tracy, were hung. Just absolute crazy stuff. It's like all fake and insane. We don't know who's really offed. We don't know who's an actor. Like, it gets confusing, and it's kind of like, what kind of crazy life do you have to live where everything's fake like this, and in a crazy mirage of chaos, evil, and manipulation, and spies, and satanic Luciferian nut jobs? Diligent says Epstein has his prostate surgically removed. The cadaver had his prostate intact. Did they state that somewhere? But that cadaver has totally different features than Epstein. I mean, you can see it. It's like they're depending on us to be retarded. And there are people who are retarded and won't see it. So what do you do about that? Yeah, and then COVID. Well, COVID started up December of 2019, at the end, you start to kind of hear it right into the New Year's. Then they start to really push it. And by March of 2020, kaboom, right? Kaboom. Like, it's crazy. Okay, let's keep going. Because they just talked about that poor girl that was found hung.
Brought her into contact with this information.
Tracy is a rather famous in this realm of literature. She's an occultist. She was involved in different sects. She was a practicing witch, for lack of better terms. She was an occultist. So I don't want to demean it, because you call someone a witch and they think it's all wicked and whatnot. She was a full-on researcher. I mean, deep and heavy. She was brilliant, and she was into all kinds of stuff. And she had the RX only show. The RX only show. There's somebody affiliated with Tracy, who's still running around out there. He's still living on the road. His car burned down last month. His car caught on fire, and he thought someone tried to kill him again. This is real, man. Like, Isaac died, yes, but someone else got hanged and lived, and Tracy got hanged and died, and they were looking for the file. I think Isaac gave that file, could have given that file to a number of people. If what Lynn is saying, if his intel is accurate, and I have verified it for myself, and I've told you what, man, after a year and a half of this, other people say that they verify it. I'm like, okay, great, okay.
So they're basically saying that Kappy kind of gave the videos like a kill switch for people to have, and they're literally tracking people down and getting stuff and making sure they don't have information that Kappy gave them. And that's why this girl says that she thinks her computer was hacked, and they archive things and weird stuff start happening technology. I'm going to tell you a story. I had a friend. Story time. Let's switch to this screen. I'm not friends with her anymore, but you know when the J6 stuff started happening and people were protesting at the Capitol? She was in with this dude. What was his name again? He's a real shyster. I was running a podcast about called paranormal folklore stuff, and he had approached us to be on his network. And he approached another friend of mine to be on their network. And I could tell it was a sham. Him and his wife were running it. And I've totally forgotten his name, Daryl Neely. And he was trying to get all these stuff and shyster people into paying money to be on his network and design. And I sniffed him out. I could tell he was sketch. And I went and looked him up, and I found his criminal record and all this stuff. And I was like, oh boy. So then he goes over and starts he was found a fraud in this network. He was working with this other guy. And the guy announced that he was a fraud. He kicked him out because he was running a radio thing. He had been on some kind of paranormal show or something. He kicked Daryl Neely and his wife out because Daryl Neely was arrested for domestic abuse on his wife. And then Daryl Neely shows back up way later and starts talking to my friend, right? Starts talking to my friend, and she's doing a podcast, convincing her to be on his streaming thing. And so they all get together, and she was probably hitting on him in the messages, no doubt. But they decide that Daryl Neely is going to go to the Capitol and stream it live. And my friend was sitting at home, and she was going to stream it to their audience, and he was going to do like reporting. So he goes down there, and she's streaming everything on Facebook with other guests, and he starts breaking into the Capitol and stealing jackets and stuff. It got shut down. Her stream got shut down. And next thing you know, she's got the FBI at her door. Right? And we all know the January 6th was a setup or whatever. That Daryl Neely guy, I think he did time for stealing stuff out of the Capitol. They have him on video on the stream told stealing stuff. I warned her he had a criminal record for a whole bunch of stuff. She didn't listen. They stream this. The FBI shows up at her door. She sends the FBI to other people who were just guests on her show who had no idea. Then she goes to get her footage and her stuff and her imagery stuff. Wiped, gone. Nothing was on her computer. She couldn't get access to anything. So they have ways they can just go. She wasn't very smart. And I said, don't have anything to do with stream. Don't go to that Capitol building. This is a setup. Don't do anything. But she didn't listen, and she streamed it. Then she had the FBI at her door. Nothing happened to her, but he went to jail. And then these poor other people who were guests on her show have the FBI show up, and their wives are like, what the hell's going on? Crazy stuff. So they can wipe it. So these people who are saying their stuff were wiped or their computer was hacked, that's believable because I've seen it happen to people. How come Nick Fuentes didn't go to jail? Because he's a fed asset. He's a fed asset. He was ushering people into the Capitol. That's why Nick Fuentes didn't go to jail. He's a fed asset. He says, oh, I was at Charlottesville too. I'm like, yeah, who else was at Charlottesville? Feds dressed up in khakis with tiki torches. Just crazy stuff. So I believe these guys. When these guys say that their stuff got wiped, or I can buy that one. Because they have the ability to get into anything and read anything. They can put stuff on your phones. I mean, it's why, like, if you try to get up into the places of power, they can take you down. It's just so sketch. So let's go back to the video here. Story time over. Let's go back, try to finish this up. is he alive? Is he dead? It looks suspicious. The way that they're coming after these other people, the same with the scientist, that I don't think he did it himself. There is even the possibility that they drove him insane and they had mind control over him, voice of God, stuff like that. There's so many things that if they wanted to, they could do and drive him insane. We may never know. We may not want to know. It could be so dark.
You know, I want to verify it. I'm sorry, but I need to verify it because I've had people tell me things that aren't necessarily true, and they're half truths, and they're seen through different lens or filters or whatnot. But if this is true, I believe Tracy had those files. I believe the FBI is in possession of those files, and I believe they squirrel hold those things. I don't think we're ever going to see them again. I think that there may be someone else out there with those files. That's why Lynn put that code out there, and he says, if anyone has those files, here's the key code to get into them. Get it out there. And he said, listen, I can't do anything else here. We were kind of working together to try and put some stuff together to find if we could track down who might have this. And we had our ideas and we shared stuff back and forth as much as they would share with me. And at this point, I don't think that they are going to contribute the resources to tracking down any further with everything that's going on in the country right now. Lynn is a target himself. He will be a target from the new communist regime that's taken over our nation here. They are already.
Communist regime. Trump is in power. I think these guys got their politics. I just don't think that they realize that they're all working in on it together. And you can get emotionally engaged. And this is why we say observe, don't absorb, because you don't want to get emotionally engaged with this, because that's why they can take you down if you have a weak mind. Like, they can control you better. They like emotional people. They like people who get upset and go to the Capitol and scream. They love that shit. They love it. Let's go forward. I don't know what we're going to hear because I don't have my clips. We're going to hear a commercial because I don't have my clips. Great. What's going on, people? Oh, I hate commercial time. Skip.
There wasn't even any in his bedroom when I was there.
People asking if you could put the mic a bit closer.
Yeah.
Sure. He didn't even have any marijuana in his bedroom. He had a prescription for an antifungal. He had shampoo, conditioner, shaving cream in his bathroom. That was it. And toothpaste. That was all he had in there. His bathroom was clean. His bedroom was clean and tidy. His space was in order. His roommate came out at first and said he was a horrible roommate. He was a mess. When I spoke to her, she lied to me about him. But I could see from the space that he lived in, who he was. He didn't even drink alcohol. He might have half a beer and be finished with it. He took care of his body. He tried to be healthy. He ate well. I don't think he was eating much towards the end because nearly 6 foot of him was about 145 pounds. He was just skin and bones.
Wow.
Just to tell you, so for those of you who loved watching him, he broadcast just about everything from the entryway of his house where he was staying with that lady, where he had a piece of art hanging. He would put that as his backdrop. So he'd sit in the entryway with that behind him, or he'd sit in his bedroom and he had several pieces of his art in his bedroom, and he would just turn his camera in a different direction so he could give you guys some variety and make it interesting. And so he felt like he had a little variety, but he really didn't leave his bedroom much. He mostly stayed in that bedroom, and he changed it up by changing his background. It was when I was there and I realized how he had his little broadcasting system.
Okay, so that's interesting that she's saying he stayed in his bedroom and had different backgrounds, because he also mentions that they seclude you. They isolate you. That's part of the insanity. That's why you don't want to go down these wormholes, these rabbit holes too far and let them get to you, because you'll start being paranoid, and that's paranoia is how they isolate you. And I believe they could have mental tactics that would target you to make that happen. You have to have a really strong mind not to go totally crazy.
Love that he shared to everybody that was part of his broadcast every day, but he wanted it to look somewhat professional and like he wasn't living in his bedroom. He really cared about that. It was important to him. So, these people came out and said some things about him that were false and untrue. And again, when he passed away, the talk screen even showed, he had a little bit of weed in his system and nicotine. That was it. There were no hard drugs.
Yeah. So he has no hard drugs and prescription drugs in his system. He was definitely a heavy smoker, though, and he probably was full of anxiety, no doubt.
Drugs, no hard drugs. So, I know people talk about that and ask, And the story about Paris that we got will derail there.
Yeah, finish up.
She they had been playing around and playing games, and he jokingly was choking her, but not he didn't grab her and choke her and try and kill her. They were playing around. And a couple days later, someone got into Paris's ear, and Paris filed a report.
Wait, back up. After they were playing,
oh yeah,
and
he
at that
stayed
party,
the night at her house.
Yeah, after he allegedly choked her, he stayed the night at her house.
And
then
she took him
the next
shopping
day,
the
they went
next
shopping
morning.
the next morning, and she bought him a hat, like an $800 hat.
Yeah, which is in the possession of his mother.
Yeah. So and I believe
there was no hard feelings between them.
Isaac talked.
So she tried to turn him going raw like a joke into he choked her. And people will do weird things like that where they'll twist it. They did that with Michael Jackson, like to get attention or whatever. They'll be like, oh no, suddenly they're a victim. They just turn normal shit into crazy shit.
To I believe his mother about that situation.
Okay, here we go. Let's go forward here. We don't have all day. We got to tie up soon.
Ponderosa Pines Fire Department, which is in Belmont.
Oh, this is the good one.
Look at even like at the back of his hair.
Oh, this is the one I want to hear.
To the hotel. And if you went on the other way, 100 yards, 200 yards, he would have been at the Camp Navajo. So I believe someone followed him and either put a BB under his tire cap and squirted it down so it was going low, or took a valve stem wrench and eked it out a little bit so it would lose air. And as he's doing 75, 80 miles an hour on the road, it's going to heat up, it's going to blow, and he's going to pull over. And they could have stranded him strategically between Williams and Belmont. And anyway, he was there. He then, according to the night manager, he then at 7:11 in the morning, he saw Isaac walking towards the bridge. And then the next thing we see is at 7:22, I believe it is, on the dash cam from the Camp Navajo. You see the Camp Navajo come by, and it's really creepy. And let me tell you the story about that dash cam, because people said, "Oh, Corey put this out and expects everybody to believe it." No, here's what happened. I received a 17-second clip from his mother and said, "Here, you might want to see this." And it was someone had taken their phone. One of the officers took their phone and they recorded the dash cam video for 17 seconds on the screen and then sent that to her. And we realized when we looked at it, one of the researchers said, "Hey, Corey." Well, no, I mean, he saw it immediately. He goes, "Dude, this is the whole film. This is a cell phone clip. Look, you can see the edge of the monitor." So I called his mom back and said, "Hey, is this the whole thing?" She said, "That's what they gave me." I called to the Coconino County Sheriff's Office and said, "Hey, there's a film that I should have received with the evidence bin, as I purchased all the evidence months ago, never came in. It's of the dash cam." And they came back and said, "Sir, we can't give that to you." I said, "BS, man. It's in the evidence. It's in the evidence report. I purchased the evidence. It needs to be in the evidence bin." And they put a sergeant on. And he said, "Let me see here. Yeah, I think we can get it to you. We're going to have to mail it to you." I'm like, "Do it. Put it on disk and mail it down." And a week and a half later, I called and said, "Yo, where's the evidence?" And they said, "You didn't get it?" And I said, "No one said." He goes, "Oh my God, it looks like they forgot to send it on Monday," or whatever it was. He said, "Hold on, what's your email?" And I sent it an email. He sent me a link, and boom, I downloaded and burned it. I said, "By the way, where was this evidence 2 months ago?" And he says, "It looks like on the tracking, it got accidentally sent down to the Arizona Department of Public Safety, which is DPS, they're the highway patrol here." And I said, "Why did it get sent down there?" He said, "I don't know. They sent it down there on accident, and they had to send it back up here." And I said, "Then how come they told me I couldn't?" He said, "I don't know, man. You got it now." So there was like a 2.5 month delay on that evidence. That's the one where, what song is being played in that? The guy in the dash cam, he comes off the off ramp.
It's very
nothing. No one believed it. I didn't.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't believe anything about it. To my gain up here a little bit. I didn't believe anything about it, Sean. No one else did. I've been accused of manufacturing that video, and who would put that music in there? I said, "Dude, that's the evidence that got sent to me. What you guys are seeing, what I released on my YouTube channel at the time, which is now on my Brighteon, that is the evidence that got sent to me. It's got that song in it. The guy was listening to that song on the radio, apparently, when he did that." Sean, I'll tell you what I think happened, and until it's proven otherwise, it's kind of where I'm at on it. I think Isaac was laying down, and I think they propped up his knees, and I think they took a photo, and they took that photo and turned it 90 degrees and put it right there on the overpass bridge.
It's definitely a strange posture.
Nothing.
It is, and when you look at even like at the back of his hair, the back of his hair is perfectly flat, and his hair, you can see it out here is kind of frizzy, but as it comes to the side here, where the back of his head is in that picture, it's perfectly flat, like it's got, like he's on a board, like it's flat.
It looks flat. His whole back looks flat. Not only that, when the car is moving across the overpass, there's nothing else moving. There's no trees.
His hair doesn't blow. His clothing don't blow.
He's just sitting there. Mostly, there's no other cars for no frame of like reference. No trucks are passing. You see trucks passing before, but afterwards, there's nothing. And that was really suspicious to me.
There's a laxity in the skin in his face as well. His mouth is kind of hanging open.
Like that.
Strange.
Just bizarre.
There's something wrong with it.
Yeah. And then when you get in on the left-hand side of the mine up there, you'll see boxes called remaining questions and one called conflicting testimony and mistakes. I mean, it's really bizarre that where are the mistakes here? I think I read a whole ton. 6 witnesses that day that are in the witness report. The only people I did not interview were the Deck brothers. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of strangeness going on with these people. Not these people, well, a few of them, but John Koch was in the front. He's the one that called 911. He said he was driving. His testimony states that he was driving across the bridge. He saw a man acting erratic. He calls 911. He pulls over and he's watching it through the rearview mirror while he's talking on the phone. When I talked to him, he said that Isaac was just like he was on the bridge. He was sitting there facing east, the rising sun, but he kept turning around, throwing his left leg over like he was getting the urge, the gumption to like jump off. 2 cars back were the Deck brothers. They were in a truck going to school that morning across the way in a truck stop, and they said that Isaac was leaning back, trying to like fall off backwards, and kept moving his arms
to maintain his balance.
To maintain the balance, because you do instinctually, like you can't drown yourself. You can't really fall off something either. And that he had, and they saw him leaning back. These people were witnessing him at the same time. There were only 2 cars apart. I got two separate stories. But you hear John say, or sorry, I don't know personally. You hear Mr. Koch say on the 911 call. By the way, the 911 call recordings are in there. They're in the mind map. All this is in there, guys. You hear him say, "Oh my God, he just went over. He just fell off." I think is what he said. He gets his car. He runs down the embankment. He's talking on 911, and he says, "Oh my God, he just got hit." Okay. And he stays the whole entire time. And then you got another witness driving down the road, and he stated that he saw something. He thought it was a sheet fall off. It was white, probably a white sheet. And he pulled up and he looked out and he said it looked like a mannequin or a woman at first. That's his words. He pulled off and he was shutting the door and turning around his hand on the door to shut it. He saw Forrest Scott Proctor run over Isaac with his F Ford 150, and the front axle struck Isaac in the head. He said. So we got 2 people stating that they saw Isaac fall from the bridge down. And we had one guy with eyes on the whole entire time, and another guy that had eyes when he came down here, and 2 people saw him simultaneously get struck. So we have those 2 witnesses, right? One of the guys was not an Arizona resident, and I spoke to him several times at length. And the third person entering here is Aaron Hudman. Aaron Hudman drives up, and one of the witnesses tells me personally, Corey, I think I saw her car strike him. I said, "What?" He goes, "I think her car hit him. Like I saw it." And I told the other witness,
Lanier by Neuromod Devices uses dual mode
happens.
stimulation to soothe tinnitus.
this, and the other witness said, no, that's not what happened. You didn't see it right. You were over there. And he said, I saw her car hit him too. So we have one witness telling us, and anyway, she gets out and she comes back, and then you hear John on the phone say, sorry, Mr. Koch. He says, yeah, we have an EMS here. She identified herself as an emergency medical technician, and she's taking pulses and whatnot. And they had already dispatched the Ponderosa Pines Fire Department, which is in.
So I'm going to pause it there for a second. And we have someone saying, so was it fake? I think what they might be trying to get at is that the person who fell off the bridge wasn't Kappy, possibly, because someone reported that it was this homeless man that was always at the pilot, and that the video footage you see is something else, that they took an image of Kappy, he was laying down, and they've kind of stitched it or done something with it and put it in the video, and it doesn't look right and doesn't make sense. So whatever fell off that bridge and those people seen, whether it was Kappy or the homeless man, is real. Splat. Like that happened. So some people think that, but there was something wrong with the footage and the way Kappy was sitting, and it looks altered. So I don't know what that means. Was it the homeless man? Was it Kappy? Is Kappy staging his death? Is he in witness protection? Is he an asset? Is he disappearing himself? I don't know, but there's something really weird about the whole scenario, and especially the video footage. And you have different testimony of people seeing different things. So some person could be wrong or fake or seeing something different. I don't know, but the video footage doesn't kind of line up with. There's something wrong with the video footage that shows Kappy in it. It looks bizarre, is what they're saying. And I haven't seen the footage. I don't even know if the footage exists anywhere. I don't have his mind map thing and link. I just don't have it. I didn't have time. They said they put a link in there. Maybe they did in live chat, but I didn't see their link.
Belmont, so it's less than a quarter mile away. They come down, okay? Well, guess who Aaron Hudman is, the woman who first responded and took the vitals of Isaac. She was an off-duty employee on her way to work for the Ponderosa Pines Fire Department. She did like the financial aspects and the ordering and stuff, okay? Get
Is it
this.
starting to stink yet?
Then she tells another witness, the other guy that saw him fall, she goes, by the way, when they give you the reports, you just want to like write down the least amount as possible. You don't want to be involved in anything like this. So you have the person working for the fire department, responding fire department, telling other witnesses there, the person that the guy might have seen her actually strike the body, not to fill out in detail on the reports. And the reports are PDF'd into this Isaac Kappy.
So the person from the fire department thing told them not to fill out the reports in detail. It's a dash cam video, not exactly high res. No, it was somebody with a cell phone filming dash cam video, and it doesn't mean you can't alter it and insert something. The CTV footage that they have of Epstein is weird, right? I think it's the position of his body, because it looks like they put that he's sitting there with his legs up, and his hair looks flat, and they think there's something really odd about it. They could be wrong. I haven't seen the video, so I can't say it obviously from what I'm seeing. I can only tell you what they see, but you can cut it out, you can splice it. I mean, there's things you can do, right? The WITSEC will also help set up a scene. So he could have died, but the video footage could just be weird. I think it was about the position of his body, and that there's not a consistency in the traffic and stuff. There's I would have to see it. I would have to see the footage
as well. The two kids on top who stopped, Don Koch never mentioned to the cops that the Deck brothers stopped and ran up to Isaac. He just said, "Oh my God, they went over." In his report, he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't mention anything that stopped and came up. Kind of.
So incompetency, half-ass reporting. I don't know. It sounds weird. It sounds like incompetence.
Important detail, I would think, right?
I want to get to the end here.
From spending several hours in the house with those little animals, that was that other little dog. It sounds just like the dog to me. But was my first thought. It didn't sound.
I don't know what's going on here. It's confusing. It gets more convoluted the more I hear them talk.
And he wasn't doing things that looked like he was high on drugs. There were no drugs involved in this situation. He looked like a man that was terrified for his life. That's what he looked like to me. That's what he looked like to me.
I also want to, just real quick, I just thought about this with the 5D thing. You've all heard or seen the movie Men's Derek Goats. That was a real government project. That was CIA. And the CIA is doing remote viewing, and the CIA is involved with social media, and they do have hit squads, digital as well as physical mercenaries. It stands to reason that they have psychic hit squads as well. I mean, this is DARPA stuff. This is real technology. This is really funded. So,
question from KOJ: is there any evidence showing a connection of the Peter ring? And I believe KOJ is referring to the Peter ring that Isaac was uncovering. Is there any evidence showing a connection of the Peter ring to Child Protection Services, CPS?
No direct, and I want to touch on this for 1 second. This is very important. I'm going to call it like I see it again. Isaac was not perfect. Isaac made a lot of mistakes, and one thing that Isaac did that pissed me off immensely was he made a lot of accusations, and he never backed up with the proof. He said, "I know it. I want to bring it out. I'll tell you about it." He never showed the proof. These are very serious. You do not accuse somebody of being a pedophile unless you have proof. However,
now we don't have access to his computer and things like that, so we don't know what he had.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there. Jilly Bean says witness protection will help set up a scene also. So they'll help set up a fake scene to make it look like somebody died and then put them in witness protection. I mean, it's possible.
We don't know
how traumatic would that be?
We don't know what he saw.
But however, when somebody is let's say you're at the age of 10, and when you're 20 years old, you start talking about it. Do you have any proof? No, you don't. So there rarely is proof for this, but the network is there. You see the kids, the young girls at the party. You see the young boys at the party. You see it going on. You see the couch interviews. You know it goes on, and you hear what's talked about at parties and with your friends, and it's happening. And I think Isaac had a lot of that knowledge, and he pieced together. And I think he got down into the P movement, and that was centered and swirled all around that. I think he was fed a lot of stuff with the P movement that really got him spun up. And I think that he was on edge, and I think that somebody got information to him. And the rest, unfortunately, is history.
And for viewers watching this, I interviewed a guy called Darren Jeffrey here in the UK, and child services therapists abused him, picked him out. Interviewed a guy called Mike Tarraga. He was picked out. This just seems to be a worldwide problem. It's ingrained, and it seems that a lot of predators go to become employed by Child Protective Services or the Catholic Church or these other entities so they can get access to the kids.
Yeah, they found here in America that 85% of the child prostitutes and the young prostitutes on the street, 85% of them have been involved with child protective services and foster care. Wow. 85%. Yeah. I covered a story last year down out of Tucson on the military base there. There was a guy who was ex-military from that base, but he lived in town, and he was a foster father for this girl. She was 6'7".
God, she was a little tiny
and he just nonstop, and they had other men do it, and was just nonstop day after day, week after week, and then they took her back and gave her to another woman who was doing the same thing to her.
Not funny, haha. That is crazy. I gotta watch it. If I tap my new earphones a certain way, they'll pause the video. It'll pause the YouTube video. That's what's happening. I tap my headphone and it's
down in the
pausing.
same town, and then she ended up.
They boiled her.
They boiled the girl, like, and this girl has.
Oh my God, I wasn't ready for that part. I was not ready for that at all. Oh my God, I didn't think I was gonna hear that. So let it go. I gotta let it go. There's nothing I can do about that. Oh dear. Oh no.
She had skin grafts. She's destroyed, and she's like 10 years old, and she's been her whole entire life. And this guy was like an officer at the military base down there, and he got kicked out of the military for sexual misconduct, and then they let him adopt a 6-year-old girl. I mean, you're right, man. It's everywhere, and it's disgusting, and it has to end. And I think everyone knows that, but I think Isaac much like Trump. Isaac didn't understand the story.
I think they need to get off the Trump train because Trump isn't saving them. Trump's protecting. This was done 6 months ago, but I think these people need to wake up and realize that Trump's protecting these people with the Epstein files. Wow. Okay, tell me, guys, what does bracketing jackets mean? What's that code for? Because I've heard him say it and I've heard it, and I'm out of the loop apparently. But yeah, there's tons of stuff. I just, some of this stuff is just so insane. Oh, let's keep going forward here. Let's see what
and right now, all those resources are being wasted. I believe there's a lot of good cops out there that watch these shows, and we know that the orders are coming down from the top, and it's revenue generation and bullshit. But if you guys in law enforcement and other people watching this in the political sphere can actually make those changes in the world, so the world is a safer place. And
they have an army of people out here, citizens, who are trying to save ourselves, and we need the leadership to step up. Okay.
I just want to say something to the viewers as well. I've got a little story about this antique watch. So many of you sent in all of your love because my best friend died last year. Wild man, best friend since childhood, I'd known him for 40+ years. It was just before Christmas that I went to his funeral, just a couple of days.
Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be done with that. The boiling children. Oh, there's who is dead and who's gonna die. Brackets and jackets. Okay, I got you. Killbox. Yeah. We live in a twisted world, guy. I knew this was going to get dark. And it would seem, if you believe Kappy, he had a right to be terrified. I mean, he was talking about like literally being hacked up into pieces. So, I mean, there's so many ways you can go with this. Obviously, officially, he has unalived himself off a bridge and been struck by oncoming traffic and splattered, as we would say. And this is tragic. But because of what he was saying and who he's involved with, and he's making claims about Seth Green and all these people, it adds that dynamic where obviously we're suspicious, because we should be, because we know in Hollywood, they're actually really evil and sick. I mean, we've only touched the surface with baby oils and puffy parties and this twisted stuff. The Epstein files show the hint at really twisted stuff, like removing children's teeth, babies' teeth, so they can do oral, like just really twisted stuff. Child Protective Services, a lot of these children who go in there, they're and people who if you're a predator, if you're evil, like, what do you do? And in England, they used to go to these orphanage and child protective services places, and these politicians would get these kids to torture, and no one says shit because they're protected. And I think the same thing happens here, whether it's DC, whether it's Hollywood, the music industry, there is a trafficking ring going on. So whether you think he's crazy or not, insane, we know this stuff is happening. And so the stuff he was saying, if you weren't in the tune then, if you can't see it now, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you must be, oh my, you must be living in a fantasy world. There's no doubt that Kappy was telling some truth and indicating he didn't have the solid evidence, but I mean, who does? Who does have the solid evidence? I mean, like they said, if you were like, a lot of times abuse happens like spontaneously, or you see something, or you get, you get engaged with these people and you don't see it till you're so far in. They slowly groom you into the club, and then next thing you know, they're like, hey, here's my bookshelf with children, and you just flip out and you leave because it's frightening and you don't have the proof. And if you had the proof, guess what? They're going to show up and hang you in a garage, and they're going to find those files and get you. And if you try to distribute it to people, they can just delete things. They can just clear your laptop, clear your files. They can check your Gmail. They can check everywhere. So it's really hard to get the proof. And I know nobody wants to make up things and accuse Tom Hanks and all those people and stuff, but it's just weird how the names come up. Diligent says the first appearance that Kappy made was on Lift the Veil with Nathan Stoppelman. I think it's still up. You should start at the beginning and see the end. Okay, well, check that one out. Lift the Veil. But there is Chili Bean says, my comments above still baffles me about the pics behind him while he sung Brackets and Jackets. There was a picture of the bridge behind him. Let's Kappy. Let's see if we can find that. I don't see a bridge on this one. I can't find anything with a bridge. Let's check this out one more time. Maybe he was a clairvoyant. You can be driven insane. You can be driven to craziness. If you're like literally, we don't know. We don't have the stuff from the laptop. We don't know who he's talking to, and the fact that he's listing Laura Loomer and all these people in it, and they're total for Israel Mossad agents now. I mean, we know that. The fact that he's listing them way back then and nobody knew this is telling that he knew stuff. He was privy to stuff because of the movies he had been into. And a lot of people get in and then they realize the evil and it's too late. Like they'll corner you. You've got too much information. Okay,
hello, guys, something special is happening in here. That's right, it's Brackets and Jackets, bringing it back for Brackets and Jackets, special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. They're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Kappy's in the portal. Kappy's in the portal. Kappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know?
Bill Gates.
Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.
All right, so that's the short version of it. I'm going to show you what Hillary Clinton's brothers look like, by the way, since he mentioned Hillary. So he's still like saying, like, they're all, this is all Epstein. Sorry, I tapped my headphones and they started to share it. Here is Hillary Clinton's brother. So if he had cancer and he lost a bunch of weight, do you see how he could look like Epstein? That's him right there. And people think that that's the body they used after he died of cancer. Possible? It's possible. Here's another one of him with Bill. Look how much he looks like Epstein here. I mean, it's crazy. And there's Palm Bell P. I mean, it's crazy. Some people think the Stephen Hawkins things was fake. You know that, guys? Like, they think that Stephen, like, because he's, like, before they got that machine, he'd have somebody sitting there. And he'd go blah 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 blah, and they would decipher it. And they're like, "Look, I know people with ALS, and you just can't do that. It doesn't work that way." So they think that the Stephen Hawkins thing was an act. Like, I don't know why the fuck they would do that. Like, they just like fucking around. I have no idea. Who was it? Benjamin Owen says that Stephen Hawkins things was fake, but apparently he was on Epstein Island. So in a world of fiat currencies, the only thing of value is blackmail. Very well put, Diligent Escape. All right, guys. Well, I don't know. I'm just as clusterfucked as when I started. Personally, I think he was died. He did unalive himself on the bridge, but the question is whether he did it or not. Whether he's put up to it or he did it because he was so like, I might as well. They're gonna like hack me up into pieces. I don't know. It is suspicious. It is still an enigma, but he was warning us. He was telling us long before people were really talking about Epstein. He was singing about it. He was talking about all these actors. So you can imagine that they would want to shut him up and shut him up fast. And that would be the end of the story for him. And legend, he's created his own enigma. Obviously, baby boomers might not know who the fuck he is, but us internet people know who he is. And whether or not you like his music or you think it sucks, it's still entertaining. Like, he's being funky. The people are like, well, that's cool. We're going to engage with this guy. And he's doing this impromptu. Like, he's just making it up off the top of his head right at last moment. And so, Kappy, rest in peace. He's trying to warn us. It's all coming out. Is he a psyop? I don't know, guys. But I wanted to bring it forward so it didn't, so more people keep talking about that stuff like this happened. And observe, don't absorb, don't get emotional, don't freak out, because they want you in that mind space. You're easier to control when you're weaker that way, when you're upset, and you just can't. You just can't get with it, right? Like, you can't control your mind. When you're more emotionally engaged, that's when they can usher you in and get you into Capitol buildings and get you to do crazy things. So I'm going to end it there. I think my voice is going to fail me in a few seconds. You guys want to tap that thumbs up button before I leave and subscribe to the channel. And I got to scroll up here because I was so busy doing stuff, but Diligent Escape, thank you so much for the super chat. $4.99. Kill Box. That's the bracket and jackets. And we may follow up. We may do more stuff on Kappy. I'm going to check out that interview that he did. You guys do that as well. And next Sunday, we're going to talk about Freemasons versus Nazi. Yeah, that's where I've been putting this one off. I've got to get to it and get it done. And so join me here next Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. I will be here, and I will see you then, guys. I really appreciate you guys showing up and being part of the crew and giving me your information, because it's clear a lot of you knew a heck of a lot more and were kind of in the know at the time than I did. And so I really appreciate all your contributions. I couldn't do the show without you guys, and I will see you next Sunday. Cheerio.